Welcome to the 2023 Cannes Boat Show, a jewel in the crown of European boat shows here in a corner of the Côte d'Azur, and as usual there's a whole load of new product to see the European boat builders really target this show. So we've got new product from Ferretti Group, Azimut, Princess, Marex, Sirena, Sunreef. You name the brand, there's probably something new from them at this show. And in this video, I'm going to give you a whistle-stop tour of all the new stuff, and I'm going to tell you about all the great content we've got coming along to the channel. So subscribe now so you don't miss any of it. I'm Jack Haines, you're watching YachtBuyer at the 2023 Cannes Yachting Festival. This is the all-new Blugame BGM75, and this breaks new ground for San Lorenzo and Blugame because it is their first multi-hull. But it is not a multi-hull in the way you might imagine. I'm going to explain a bit more about that during the full tour. It's powered by relatively small Volvo Penta IPS 800 engines for 22-23 knot top speed, and there's lots of very clever stuff going on. And we've got a full tour of this one, access all areas, coming to the channel very soon, so look out for that one. This is the brand new Pershing GTX116 making its world premiere here at the Cannes Boat Show. Some numbers for you. It's 115 foot long, it weighs around 130 tons, it's got 6,000 horsepower split across triple M2 engines, and it will top out at 35 knots. It is an extraordinary machine, and I think it's got the coolest helm chair I've ever seen. We've got an access all areas tour of this yacht coming to the channel, so look out for that coming along very soon. One of the most important launches here is the new Y80 from Princess Yachts. It's based on the X80, shares a lower deck and a hull with that boat, but from there up it's completely different, and you've got that traditional Princess Y-class design. 4 cabins on the lower deck, a really lovely new interior design on this boat as well, and with 1800, 1900 or 2000 horsepower MAN engines, it'll crack 35 knots. It's quite a machine. We've got a full tour of it. It wouldn't be a Cannes Boat Show without something new from Riva, and this really is quite new. This is the 82 Diva. How about that for a name? And it does break new ground for Riva, this. It's got folding platforms, it's got that great relationship between the aft section and the cockpit, and it's got a forward galley layout, which is something you don't see very much these days. It's got 4 cabins on the lower deck, including the ubiquitous full beam owner's cabin. It's also got plenty of power, 1900 horsepower per side, courtesy of MAN, top speed of over 30 knots. And I'm thrilled to say we've got a sea trial of it, so look out for that coming to the channel very soon. One of the big stars of the show is this, the Wally Y150. It's a condensed version of the Y200. It's sub 24 meters, but it's still got all of that extravagant design that we saw on the 200. It's triple IPS for a top speed of around 23 knots. It's got a spectacular main deck owner's cabin, almost full length top deck, and one of the most interesting interior designs you're going to see at this level. We've got a full tour of it. We've filmed a lot of boats at the Cannes Boat Show this week, but few have been as hard to get on as this, the new flagship of the Marex range, the 440 Gourmet Cruiser. It's the biggest Marex they've ever made. It's also the most expensive, 1.2 million euros for this boat to show spec, but that doesn't seem to be putting people off. They've sold 7 of them already, and we've got a full tour of it coming to the channel very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Another boat making its world premiere here is the Azimut Verve 48, and it replaces the 47, a boat that was massively successful for Azimut. They sold over 100 in 3 years. It's now got triple 600 horsepower Mercury V12s though, and there are lots of changes all over the boat that add a really decent refresh over the original model. And we've got a full tour and, importantly, sea trial of this one coming to the channel very soon. If you like your big Italian flybridge boats, then you probably want to keep an eye out for our tour of the new Azimut 72. It replaces the old 72, but it is quite different. It has exterior design by Alberto Mancini, interior design by Fabio Fontellino, who hasn't designed a yacht before, so some very fresh thinking there. 4 cabins on the lower deck and twin 1400 horsepower MANs for a top speed of 32 knots. It's quite something. The Wellcraft 435 follows on from the 355 that we saw launched recently, and this is designed to take on the likes of the Axopar 45 and the Saxdor 400. As you can see, it's got triple 350 horsepower Mercury V10s, drop-down balconies in the cockpit, and a really decent year-round option for around 1.2 million euros to this show spec. A tour of this show wouldn't be complete without a shot of the only pink boat at the show. This is the VisionF 80, and would you just look at it? I absolutely love that colour scheme, even down to the matching Williams tender. We haven't been able to get on board, unfortunately, but we had to show it to you. Pretty cool, huh? Something else causing a stir is the new flagship of the Solaris Power range. This is the 52. I love this range. They're really, really good looking boats, and this is the biggest one they've ever built. Twin IPS with top speed of 35 knots, 2 or 3 cabins on the lower deck. Seriously good looking boat, and I particularly like that hull colour. It looks amazing in the sun, and popular, as you can see. It's not one of the biggest boats at the show, but it might be one of the most important. This is the first sun-top version of the Axopar 45. We've seen the cross-cabin version, but this is the first of the open versions coming to market, and I think here in these parts, this version will be very popular. It's got all the same arrangements on deck. You've got the triple 300 horsepower power, but obviously you've got that more open sensation on the main deck. And we've got a full sea trial of this one coming onto the channel, so look out for that. As you can tell, another very popular boat here at the show is the new Saxdor 400. It's the biggest boat they now build, a pair of Mercury 400 horsepower V10s on the back. This is the cabin version, but as you can see, you still get the folding platforms, loads of really clever stuff going on board that thing. We're hoping to get a full test later in the year, but yeah, it's causing quite a stir. Going head to head with the Axopar 45, the Wellcraft 435, and all those types of boats. Sirena is launching a new entry-level model here at Cannes. It's the 48, and like its bigger sisters, it majors on interior volume and with a semi-displacement hull, good range and seakeeping. With twin 480 or 550 horsepower motors, twin diesels, it'll cover about 500 nautical miles at 10 knots. On board, you've got 3 cabins, including a full beam owner's ensuite. It's a proper little pocket explorer. As the sun sets on the show, the sun also sets on this video. See what I did there? But that is just a little taster of what's at Cannes, but more importantly, it's a taster of what we filmed here at the show. So this is a great time to subscribe so you don't miss any of them.